Nick arrives at Newman Media, where Chelsea and Adam are dealing with the fallout of the Cain expose. They update Nick on Ashby's threat to sue them, along with his promise to change the narrative. Adam's sure he's blowing smoke. Nick assumes they have everything under control, so he's jetting off to LA to see Noah, whether his dad likes it or not. He reiterates that Sharon sensed something was off with their son, and now she can't find him. He's going to give his pops a heads up about it, and will keep them posted. Victoria stops by the ranch and chats with her parents about how fast the Cain thing is blowing up. They discuss the defamation suit, and Victor says what they printed was either true or can't be proven otherwise since Colin is dead. But the game isn't over. After Victoria exits, Nikki and her husband continue to discuss Cain, and he assures her he's a step ahead of him. When she asks if Jack knew about the article, he says no, and insists that he and the abbot have no partnership. Adam and Chelsea head to Society for drinks after work. They hope Noah is okay and recall how hard it was when their kid was in trouble. Next, they mull over Nick and Sharon reuniting. He admits he doesn't want his ex hurt. Victoria arrives, and they ask her to join them. After she sits, talk turns to Kyle and Claire, and Victoria confesses that she's worried about her daughter vacationing with Holden in LA. Kyle pops up and says he agrees. He asks to speak to Victoria in private, and they cross the room. Adam guesses Kyle is getting desperate. He and Chelsea get notifications about the Cain story being picked up by the international press and agree it would take a miracle for him to recover from this. At the bar, Kyle announces to Victoria that he's not letting his relationship die. He's heading for LA and needs her help. Victoria promised her daughter she would stay out of this. Kyle has no problem with Claire being on her own, but she's with a player. If Victoria believes in his relationship with her daughter, then she needs to tell him where Claire is staying. Phyllis drags a complaining Cain into the club for a drink. They discuss his desire to change his image. She's sure the garbage the Newmans printed about him will blow over. Ashby insists he needs something big and immediate to make him look like a good guy. Phyllis is perplexed that he wants her, of all people, to help with his image. She thought he wanted her to work with him because she plays dirty. Cain tells Phyllis that he hired her because she's flexible, fearless, and adaptable. He groans when she complains he's jerking her around again. She reminds him that he partnered up with the bad girl and the article trashed her too. He wants to prove to his family he's not a monster and needs her help. Phyllis asks if he has a plan. Cain wants to appear heroic. Maybe he could use the AI to do something positive? She suggests he just help an endangered species or something. Cain wants her to use her beautiful brain to get him a new reputation. His businesses are already suffering, and he needs to change the narrative. He'd give everything up for Lily and the kids. Phyllis points out that this is not what they agreed on. They were supposed to get revenge. Cain wants to impress rather than scare people. When the redhead complains that he doesn't know who he is, he threatens to replace her. When Cain tries walking out, Phyllis chases him to the door. She lectures him for not knowing what it is really like to want something and accuses him of using her like everyone else. After forcing him to admit that he needs her, she demands that he hand over the AI program. When he balks, Phyllis can't believe he still doesn't trust her. Stroking Cain's chest, Phyllis warns that she's the only one who can save him. He asks her to come up with some hypothetical scenarios before he'll think about giving her access to the software. Phyllis asks if that's the best he can do. Playing the game, he moves closer and says, "For now, yes." Phyllis murmurs, "I'll be in touch," and exits. An emotional Ashby then calls Lily and leaves a voicemail saying he just wanted to hear her voice. At the ranch, Nick informs his parents that he's booked a flight to LA. Victor thinks he should let his son solve his own problems, but concedes that he would never do that. They debate whether Cain will make a move. Nick still thinks all his threats are empty. If something serious happens, he can always come back. Nikki backs him up. Victor no sooner gives his blessing than Nick takes a call from a frantic Sharon, who cries, "It's Cassie all over again!" After managing to communicate that she's in a hospital, she conveys that Noah's been in a car accident. Coming apart entirely, she sobs, "It's bad, Nick. It's really bad." Sharon tells her ex to come quickly. Noah needs him, and so does she. As his parents panic in the background, Nick assures her he'll be there right away. Victor offers him the jet, and Nick rushes out. Refresh your memory of Nick and Sharon's son's past, and get a glimpse of his future in our new photo gallery of Noah's life story. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, Pulse Canvas. It's me, Julie here. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Keep watching. So let's dive into today's video. The Young and the Restless, spoilers for Tuesday, October 14th, 2025, have Jill making a big decision affecting her relationship with Billy, Kyle playing hardball, and Holden reconnecting with someone from his past. Jill Foster Abbott is making the most of her time in Genoa City. She made the rounds last week with Victor, Nikki, Jack, and others. On Tuesday's show, watch for her to make a big decision that will affect her relationship with Billy. Billy has felt that Jill has disrespected him by selling Chancellor Industries to Victor. Jill loves her son very much, but is there anything that Jill can do that could make amends for that? Or are mother and son destined to be distant? Kyle Abbott is not about to let Claire Newman walk out of his life for good. Sure, he's made some mistakes, at least that's how Claire feels, but Kyle still deeply cares for Claire. On Tuesday's show, watch for Kyle to play hardball. If he needs to get information from someone on how to reach Claire, he's going to do whatever it takes to make that happen. Kyle isn't as ruthless as Claire's grandfather is, but he will take action to get what he wants. He's not going to let Claire go without a fight. He wants her back in his arms. Holden Novak is a man of mystery in many ways. However, on Tuesday's show, we're going to learn a bit more about him as he connects with someone from his past. Holden's got some secrets about his life in Los Angeles. Might this mystery person shed some light on those secrets and give us insight into Holden? Holden has made it clear that he wants to be Claire's friend. She is attracted to him. Could more happen when they are in Los Angeles and he encounters this person from his past? Welcome to the Young and the Restless Daily YAPP for a quick, and by that I mean you're already halfway done, recap of the most amazing or what the heck did we just watch moments on today's episode. Let's get to it. Even before Nick Newman learned about his son Noah's car accident in Los Angeles from his ex, Noah's mom Sharon, his instincts were telling him to hightail it to the West Coast ASAP. Nick figured it'd be a tough sell leaving town, as his father, Victor, wanted everyone on call so they could tackle any threats from Cain. The mogul suggested to Nick that he let Noah solve his problems on his own. Would you do that? Nick asked. Victor said that he'd done that many times. Nick corrected his father and said that no, he'd go and help his kids if they needed him. In fact, he'd done so many times. Oh yeah, you're right, Victor solemnly and almost comedically responded. Victor pressed the issue because of Cain. Nick then drew a line in the sand and said what many of us have been thinking. You treat Cain like he's this damn bogeyman, Nick said. He dominates every minute of our lives, and I'm sick of it. We sit around plotting and waiting for him to do something. Victor assured Nick that Cain would eventually take action. That prompted Nick to point out that maybe his father shouldn't have had Adam publish the hit piece on Victor. Once again, Nicholas Newman has emerged as the voice of reason in Genoa City. Fortunately, he's on his way to Sharon and Noah. Nick's instincts were spot on about getting to them. Want more details? We got you! Soap Central has the best full Y&R recaps on the internet. You can even go back over 30 years and read each and every one of them. If you can't wait until the next episode, we have daily spoilers too. And whatever you do this weekend, do not, seriously, do not, forget to read the 2 scoops for some laughs in the as close as we can come to being a watching party without actually being a show. And the best part is if you agree or disagree, we want to know. As always, share your comments below. Cain is set on getting Lily back, but he could have conflicting feelings for Phyllis. Cain wants to repair his reputation so he can get Lily back. However, on The Young and the Restless, October 13th, he almost locked lips with Phyllis. Will his loneliness sabotage his efforts? Cain wants someone or something to help him look better than everyone else in Genoa City. Phyllis was shocked that he wanted her help with his reputation. She wanted to know why he was getting so desperate. Cain believed that she was the best person for the job, but she's confused about his intentions. Cain wanted to take over Genoa City and then the world. Then, he abandoned those plans for his family. Now, he wants to prove that he's squeaky clean. Cain's head is all over the place. It's hard to understand what he wants. But Cain insisted that he needed Phyllis's help. Desperation is not a good look, not even for Cain Ashby. He's not thinking clearly now that he's realized that his life isn't all that it's cracked out to be. He's partnering up with the bad girl in town, which could blow up his reconciliation plans. During Monday's show, the apparent chemistry between them smoldered. Cain assured Phyllis that he needed her. But what does she get out of it? Phyllis told Cain that she wanted her hands on the AI software. But Cain refused to give Phyllis what she wanted. So, she used her seductive charm on him. Phyllis got so close to Cain that he couldn't think straight. They were this close to kissing. Partnering up with Phyllis could be risky for Cain. She's a loner just like him. However, she assured Cain that she would save him from being an outcast. The sexual attention got them close, but they were able to control themselves and pull away. But that might not be the case the next time around. After Phyllis left, Cain immediately called Lily and left a voicemail asking her to call him back. But what if she doesn't respond to his calls? The Young and the Restless spoilers and updates tease that November sweeps will unveil wedding chaos, shocking revelations, and new faces in Genoa City. Christine Blair and Danny Romalotti are getting married. Cain Ashby has some shocking news, and Roger Howarth makes his debut as a mysterious new character. As of now, there's still some uncertainty about Roger Howarth's character, but he's anticipated to make an appearance on the soap in late fall, with a likely debut in November. Sweeps month would be an ideal time for Howarth to join the show, especially since he started filming with the CBS soap in mid-September. Given that the show films several weeks in advance, it's possible he could arrive in Genoa City next month. Meanwhile, Cain has recently threatened to sue Newman Media over a damaging article they published about his father, Colin Atkinson, which could lead to some major drama in November. There have been claims that there are no credible sources to support the story that Colin deceived Madame de Leon while posing as Lord Jeremy Edgerton for her wealth and estate in Nice. If it turns out that Victor Newman forged the letter, Newman Media could find themselves in serious trouble. Chelsea Lawson and Adam Newman have simply followed Victor's orders. As a result, they would likely be very upset if it turns out this whole situation was a con and planned from the start. Their reputations are at stake, and if Cain can prove that his father is innocent of the accusations against him, it could cause major turmoil at the Newman estate. Not to mention, Cain could potentially involve them as Victor's accomplices in a fraudulent scheme against him. Finally, Christine and Danny are gearing up to say "I do" once more during November sweeps, promising fans some touching moments as they exchange vows for the second time. But will everything go smoothly? Do soap weddings ever happen without a hitch? It seems that Phyllis Summers might cause some trouble for the couple she can't stand, making it all the more interesting to see how things play out. Spoilers for The Young and the Restless suggest that while November sweeps may bring cooler weather, the drama in Genoa City is sure to heat up. That means a month packed with episodes that fans won't want to miss. The Young and the Restless spoilers preview notes that November sweeps will explode in Genoa City, as Christine Blair and Danny Romalotti get hitched. Cain Ashby drops a bombshell, and a major character debut unravels. Although, as of this writing, there's still uncertainty surrounding Roger Howarth's character. He's slated to first appear on the soap sometime in the late fall, and all arrows are pointing toward a November debut. Sweeps month would be the perfect time for Howarth to appear, and since he began filming with the CBS soap in mid-September, and the show films several weeks ahead of time, it could mean he steps foot in GC next month. Meanwhile, Cain recently threatened to sue Newman Media over the hit piece they wrote about his dad, Colin Atkinson. So the proverbial poop could hit the fan in November. There have been mentions that there are no sources to back up the story that Colin conned Madame de Leon under the alias of Lord Jeremy Edgerton for her money and estate in Nice. And if Victor Newman forged the letter, Newman Media could be in a lot of trouble. Chesley Lawson and Adam Newman simply followed Victor's orders, so they'll be mighty upset if this was a setup the entire time. Their reputations are on the line, so chaos may erupt at the Newman estate if Cain can offer up the proof that his father is innocent of these accusations. Finally, Christine and Danny's wedding will take place during November sweeps, so fans should expect some sweet moments as the couple says their I do's for the second time. But will it go off without a hitch? Do weddings and soaps ever run smoothly? There have been hints that Phyllis Summers may cause problems for the couple that everyone loves, so it'll be interesting to see what happens. The Young and the Restless spoilers suggest that November sweeps will bring cooler temperatures, but the drama will heat up in Genoa City, as the month will be jam-packed with episodes fans won't want to miss. The Young and the Restless, spoilers for the next 2 weeks, suggest some curveballs and twists. From October 13 to 24, Noah Newman faces a critical medical emergency. Meanwhile, Mariah Copeland faces Tessa Porter. Also, how will Cain Ashby use AI to turn his reputation around? Keep reading, and let's talk about what is coming up in the CBS soap opera. Before getting to the 2-weekers, let's discuss what's coming up from October 13 to 17. First of all, Sharon Newman goes to Los Angeles solo to meet up with Noah. However, she gets concerned when she can't seem to find her son. Sharon calls Nick to update him, but at this point, neither are too worried. That all changes when Sharon is notified that Noah has been in a horrific car crash. It reminds the blonde of what happened to Cassie Newman. The woman calls Nick sobbing. Then a bit later in the week, Nick joins Sharon in LA to check on Noah. They end up meeting a mysterious stranger. Also in LA are Holden Novak and Claire Grace Newman. The blonde is all dolled up at a club and looks really happy. Holden introduces Claire to Sienna Bacall. That is when Sienna keeps talking about Holden's dynamic with Audra Charles. Talk about awkwardness! It is also stated that Tessa will go to meet Mariah. While Tessa and Daniel Romalotti Jr. were investigating the hotel room in Boston, they found something. It has Tessa really concerned about Mariah and her safety. During the week of October 20th, fans will see what the outcome of Claire and Holden's trip is. We know that Kyle Abbott tries to get the hotel address from Victoria Newman. Will Kyle ruin Claire's escape, or could his timing be perfect considering Holden's checkered past? There is also Cain's plan to use AI for something good. Phyllis Summers is supposed to report back some ideas of how to do this. Also, expect Victoria and Nate Hastings to get even closer. However, that might be hard for Audra to handle, so stay tuned. Which storyline are you looking forward to seeing the most in the next 2 weeks? Share your thoughts in the comment section below. Remember to keep watching the soap on CBS or Paramount Plus to find out what happens next. Michelle Stafford expanded the ranks at this year's Lead Actress Luncheon. Last year's Outstanding Lead Actress winner, The Young and the Restless, Michelle Stafford, hosted the Lead Actress Nominee Luncheon this year. The Daytime Emmys aren't celebrating a milestone this year, but a tradition that takes place ahead of the ceremony certainly is. The luncheon, which sees the glamorous ladies of daytime cutting loose and having fun before the excitement of the coming event truly sets in. However, this year, as the luncheon celebrates its 20th anniversary, the event has a welcome addition, or rather, additions. Stafford extended the invitation to the supporting actresses as well. The Lead Actress Luncheon dates back to 2005. It took place in New York, with that year's 8 nominees gathering for what turned out to be a 4-hour event, according to Stafford. To the surprise of everyone, the bold and the beautiful legend Susan Flannery footed the bill. There'd been so much alcohol flowing that the ladies didn't feel right about letting her pay for everyone. But then Flannery posed an idea. Whoever won the Outstanding Lead Actress Award would pay for next year's luncheon. In her acceptance speech, General Hospital's Erica Slezak gave a nod to that conversation. According to Stafford, Slezak said, "All right, I guess I'm paying next year." And the tradition has endured for 2 decades. But what hasn't been typical of the luncheon is the inclusion of the supporting actress nominees, and Stafford made a point of changing that for 2025. Sharing a picture on Instagram of the ladies, a part of her Y&R family, who are nominated, the soap star showed a glimpse of the restaurant where she hosted the luncheon, thanked the bakery that supplied a sweet treat, and promised more pictures to come. She also explained the absence of some of her fellow nominees, quipping, "Before some of you start yelling at me, the gals, who you don't see in this picture, were not able to come," and expressed, "We missed you, gorgeous ladies." With the inclusion of nominees from both categories, the luncheon may see another change in 2026. Perhaps the winners of the Outstanding Lead and Supporting Actress Awards will split responsibilities for next year's. They'll also have the opportunity to welcome stars from Beyond the Gates, the newest addition to the daytime Emmy ranks. On Tuesday's Y&R, Holden's night with Claire takes a surprising turn when someone from his past resurfaces. Meanwhile, Jill's heartfelt reflection on Billy could change everything between them. On the Tuesday, October 14th, episode of The Young and the Restless, spoiler photos show Holden and Claire experience good times over drinks. Claire meets someone from Holden's past. Plus, Jill reflects on her relationship with Billy. Holden has been around since January of this year, and we still know very little about him. We know that he worked for Damien, and they were besties. We also know that he and Audra have a past that they won't talk about, but it may have been something illegal. Things are about to change, however. Holden is in Los Angeles, and he's hanging with his friend Claire. And it seems like we're finally about to learn something deeper about the man. Here, Holden and Claire share a toast at some LA hotspot that might be one of Holden's regular hangs. Of course, they are drinking Vespers because that is their drink. Although now that she's on the West Coast, Claire may open up her beverage repertoire. She is in the mood to be adventurous, after all. She wants to find herself. The question is, what does Holden want? It has to be more than a friendship with Claire. But he knows that she's not up for anything more right now. They appear to be having fun in these photos. According to spoilers, Holden is supposed to reconnect with someone from his past, and it looks like that's exactly what happens on Tuesday. Tamara Braun's character, Sienna Bacall, visits Holden and Claire's table. In the Y&R weekly video preview, she meets Claire and expresses her happiness that he's not hanging out with the other woman, Audra. Holden and Sienna get some one-on-one time. Hopefully, we will learn more about how they know each other and whether she is aware of what happened between Holden and Audra. Was Sienna involved? And why doesn't she seem to care for Audra? Finally, teasers reveal that Jill makes a significant decision that affects her relationship with Billy. Now, this could go either way. This decision could further damage her mother-son bond with Billy, especially if it involves Cain, but that's not what she is trying to accomplish. She seems to want to repair things with Billy. So could this decision actually help mend things? What does she decide to do? The Young and the Restless spoilers for the next 3 weeks, October 13-31, suggest fans need to brace for some horrifying moments in Los Angeles, while there's wedding drama for one couple. Plus, there will be fireworks between Cain Ashby and Phyllis Summers. Off the cusp of that Newman media hit piece, Cain will be reeling. He was on shaky ground with the twins and Lily Winters, as it was, so he'll be desperate to turn things around. Y&R spoilers for the week of October 13-17 hint that he'll turn to Phyllis and ask for her help to do something, using that AI software to make him look good in the eyes of the public, as well as his family. Still, she'll issue him an ultimatum. Phyllis will tell him she can help if he gives her the AI program. However, he'll be hesitant to do this. Cain will agree to think about it if she provides some scenarios on how she will use it, and if she proves that he can trust her with it. Over to Nick Newman, he'll be shocked by a distress call from Sharon Newman. Sharon will call him to let him know that she's at an LA hospital, as Noah Newman is there after a car crash, fighting for his life. The whole scene will feel eerily like Cassie Newman's situation, so the parents will be terrified for their son. Noah will likely be in a coma, which means Nick and Sharon will be left with a ton of questions and no answers as to why their son had been acting strangely leading up to the collision, and what exactly has landed him in this predicament. Noah won't be able to speak to what happened, which will have Schick that much more on edge. There will be 2 major characters debuting during the week of October 13th. The Young and the Restless spoilers indicate that General Hospital alum Matt Cohen will enter the canvas on Thursday, October 16th, as Detective Burrow, and he'll be involved in the Schick Noah storyline. Plus, Soap vet Tamara Braun will debut Sienna Bacall on Tuesday, October 14th. Sienna is a bar owner in LA, and she'll have scenes with Holden Novak and Claire Newman as the two enjoy some Vespers in her establishment. Sienna will mention Holden's past relationship with Audra Charles, so it'll be interesting to learn more about Sienna and how her story relates to those in Genoa City. Elsewhere, Kyle Abbott will be ruthless in his pursuit of heading to LA. During the Monday, October 13th episode, he'll approach Victoria Newman at Society, requesting information on Claire's address in LA. With that said, the mom will deny his request. However, Kyle will do something massively sketchy to ensure he gets the information he wants. In fact, it looks like he'll also completely catch Claire off guard when he shows up in LA and crashes her getaway adventure. In other news, Mariah Copeland will get a visit to Boston from Tessa Porter. Still, things have been very testy between this super couple since Mariah's business trip and her odd evening with Will Hensley. Will the visit end on a good or sour note? During the week of October 17th to 24th, things could get even worse for Tessa and Mariah. If Tessa informs her wife about the digging that she and Daniel Romalotti did, Mariah could have a meltdown. This may have Tessa running into Daniel's arms for comfort, but will the two all share a romantic moment? Daniel has genuine feelings for Tessa, while Tessa has friendly feelings for Daniel. With that said, if she's vulnerable, she could get caught up in a moment. Over to the Noah situation, Nick will search for answers surrounding his son's situation. Y&R spoilers suggest that this mystery will have its fair share of twists, turns, and possibly horrifying moments. Nick may be completely shocked by the mess Noah has gotten into, but will Noah be okay? Finally, the week of October 27th to 31st will bring some wedding planning as Christine Blair and Danny Romalotti prep for their November nuptials. Cricket and Danny have already knocked off a lot on their to-do list, but there are still some things to iron out, as well as a bachelor and bachelorette party to organize, so there may also be some celebrations along the way, too. Will Phyllis throw a wrench in their festivities? She may be more preoccupied with Cain. The two got mighty close to having a steamy kiss during the October 13th episode, so fans should expect more fireworks between the two as Phyllis presents her AI plans to Cain, and he decides whether or not to give her the software. The Young and the Restless spoilers suggest the next 3 weeks will be over the top, as November sweeps quickly approaches, so fans need to stay tuned to the CBS soap to catch every moment. The Young and the Restless spoilers and updates reveal Peter Bergman has scored a new role. It's an outside project for Apple TV+. Fans need not fear he's leaving their favorite CBS soap. It appears that Vince Gilligan, the mastermind behind Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul, has a fresh project set to debut on Apple TV+, and we are absolutely thrilled to see it. Titled Pluribus, this series has a unique connection to The Young and the Restless and a captivating concept that has already captured our interest. As reported by Entertainment Weekly, the show features Rhea Seehorn in the role of Carol Sturka, a romance novelist. Carol seems to be the sole individual unaffected by a new virus that induces happiness and optimism in everyone else. While it may not sound too bad, we suspect that, like many sci-fi narratives, things are not quite what they appear. Thus, Carol embarks on a journey to uncover the truth and discover how she can save the world from endless joy. This is all quite fascinating, but then discussing film dropped the trailer, and we were instantly captivated. The first voice we recognized was one that fans of The Young and the Restless know well. It was Peter Bergman. If you listen to the preview, you will hear what Bergman's enigmatic character has to say to Carol. Let's just say that the rest of the world isn't going to let Carol wallow in her misery. They're determined to uncover why she remains uninfected, and they plan to fix it, at least. That's the promise made by Bergman's delightfully foreboding character in the preview. This marks a refreshing shift for Peter Bergman, who has portrayed Jack Abbott on Y&R since 1989. Before that, he was known for his role as Dr. Cliff Warner on the beloved ABC soap All My Children. Peter played Cliff Warner for a decade, from 1979 to 1989, before moving on to The Young and the Restless. If you found yourself in a realm filled with perpetually cheerful individuals, would you choose to join them, or would you prefer to stop them? The choice is yours, and you can explore Peter Bergman's exciting new character when the series premieres on November 7th on Apple TV. The Young and the Restless spoilers and updates tease Cain Ashby's planning a defamation lawsuit against Newman Enterprises over their recently published article on Colin Atkinson. It seems the entire piece was based on a letter incriminating Colin, implying he conned Madame de Leon using the alias Lord Jeremy Edgerton, and found by Victor Newman. The money and estate Colin received from de Leon were the very resources that financed Cain's arabesque company. So if indeed true, Cain's wealth has been built on a foundation of lies. It has been pointed out numerous times that Adam Newman and Chelsea Lawson failed to verify their sources and simply followed Victor's commands. In the episode that aired on Friday, October 10th, shortly after the article was released by Newman Media, Cain barged into the Newman Media offices and dropped the lawsuit revelation. There has been no confirmation regarding the validity of Victor's claims about Colin, and it's uncertain whether Cain was even aware of Colin's actions. One thing that both Cain and Jill Abbott have been clear about is the drastic change in Colin just before he died, having wanted to make amends for his bad behavior. That being said, Colin's final con doesn't appear to have been too implausible, and the whole scheme feels like something he would undertake. It sounds just like the late scoundrel. However, even if it is even partially true, the absence of credible sources to support Newman Media raises the question, could Cain file a lawsuit to ultimately devastate both Newman Media and Newman Enterprises? Victor may have great wealth, but Cain appears to possess even greater riches, allowing him to potentially drag Victor and his business through the legal system until his empire collapses. Colin may have truly been a con man most of his life, but when it came close to the time he was to meet his maker, there had been a drastic change. One question we need to ask ourselves here is if the letter Victor found is legitimate, or if it may have been faked, quite possibly by Victor. That wouldn't be beneath Victor to have done, considering the high risk and high stakes his companies are under. And considering if Cain's a con, then Victor's trying to out-con a con. The Young and the Restless spoilers indicate that the Newmans are worried about their legacy, largely due to the AI software that Cain possesses. However, if Victor had kept to his own business, they might not be facing the more significant concern that Cain could introduce through a lawsuit that threatens to devastate their wealth.